Hey everybody, welcome to our recap. If you don't mind just muting your videos and microphones so we don't have any of that would be great. And I'm gonna start the PowerPoint here, but I'd really like to make sure we don't have any feedback. So if you don't mind turning off your videos as well as your microphones, unless you really want your face on the recording. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and share my screen. Right. Let me actually move that up here. Where will it let me move it so it's not blocking anything? So it won't let me move it. I'm gonna move it down here. Yep, I'm just trying to think where it won't block anything on this side. Okay. Let's see. Put another person to mute. Mute all. That's easy. Mute video. I'm trying to mute all the videos just so that we don't have anybody's interfering with any of the slides. Uh-oh, that quit on me. Okay.
It's being held together by
You guys okay with just standing over? I want to get it back far enough so you can see. On the floor. Stand here. Move my water. I can move it back a little more. Okay. Should be good here. Make sure this still works. No, it might not. Oh, that's cut off. Huh? Why is that cut off?
change your mind, and I think it's been then you can get a version.
You haven't even seen your slides. I'll have to change slides manually, so I might actually, because this won't work with Zoom going too. Oh wait, now it is working. Okay, good. That's much better. Right. Okay. This is 7. Probably after 7, huh? Okay. Okay, thanks for your patience, everybody, while I was getting the Zoom going. And thanks for being here. And sorry if I seem unfriendly. You'll learn this about me. When I'm getting set up, I am totally focused. Focus is one of my top 5 strengths, but sometimes it can work against me because I tune everyone else out. So I gotta focus. So that's just, and if you're on the Zoom, if you wouldn't mind just turning off your camera so it doesn't block anything. I'm gonna be talking to people there too, and I just messed that up. There we go. Okay. Thank you. Hi, Zoom people. Hi, live people. I'm Crystal Garvin, and we just got back from Orlando from our leadership, so a lot of this has not been refined, but we love to come back and share it while we're really excited about the information, about the time we had together, about all of the retreat information and bonding and all of that. So we're really excited to share with you some of what we learned, but also just try to convey some of the importance of these events and these leadership and as well as our local events and preaching to the choir since you're here. Thank you for being here. I really appreciate you spending your time here, and I think you'll find it valuable and inspiring. We have new tools, new information from dōTERRA, and also some inspirational things to round everything out. So I'm going to start actually by having Diane Carroll come up and talk to us about her experience. This was her first leadership, and I love for new people who are experiencing it for the first time to share their impressions, some of what they learned. So she's going to share some of that as well as some practical things that we can apply in our classes, which is exciting. So please help me welcome Diane Carroll.
Thank you. I have a few props here. Some notes I'm using. Just a minute. Okay. Where do I need? Oh, there we go.
Good.
General area. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. So welcome, everybody. My name's Diane Carroll, if you don't know me, and I'm a Silver Wellness Advocate, and I'm on Laura Garcia's team. She's my awesome leader. So yes, as Crystal said, this was my first experience at Leadership Retreat, and Crystal asked if I would share just some takeaway information that I got, maybe my perspective as a new person, first timer at leadership. Of those of you in the room, I'm just curious, are there silvers here in the room that have not been to silver or above, have not been to leadership? Okay. All right, well, that's good. So that tells me you've either been to leadership or maybe you're not quite yet silver. And I'm here to encourage you that when you hit that rank, you definitely want to be a part of that experience. So before I went to leadership, Crystal had asked in a group if there were some people that would be willing to share once we got back. And, you know, I had not attended leadership before, and I thought about it for a little while, a few days, gave it some thought, mulled it over. Would I want to be that person who stands up there and has something to say? So it took me a few days. I finally thought, you know what? Okay, yes, I will do it. I felt like I was jumping off a cliff because once I messaged her and said, sure, I'd be happy to help. I was like, oh, what have I done? You know? But, you know, I did that for a couple of reasons, and I might get to those reasons later. But one of my top strengths is consistency and I don't know. There was another one in there, just dependable or something. Responsibility. Yeah, responsibility. And so, you know, once I make that commitment, I follow through, even if it frightens me. So, so here I am. But so I went to sleep that night, got a few hours sleep before we headed on the road for a 12-hour road trip the next day. And I will say that when you get to leadership, you will probably hear a lot of things that you've been hearing all along in this business as to how to run your business and how to be successful in this business. And that's okay. dōTERRA understands that sometimes we need to hear these things over and over and over again before they finally click. Because, you know, like myself, sometimes I think that even though I'm hearing those things, that maybe there really is some other sort of magical fairy unicorn process to move my business forward. And fact is, there isn't. So there are some things in the middle of all that general business education stuff that we all know and hear on a regular basis. There are, in the midst of those pieces, these golden nuggets, if you will, little tidbits of information that you can pull out that apply you'll find that they apply directly to you and where you're at in this business. Whether you are a brand new silver or if you've, been a diamond for a couple years. And I think dōTERRA understands that too. And what that lets me know is that, when I listen to them and I think, oh my goodness, she is speaking right too. Like, I think we're twins, But what that tells me is that I am not alone in whatever it is that I think my challenges are at this time in my business, right? So it's easy to feel like maybe if we're stuck in our business, that we're the only one stuck. And it's, we get this skewed vision, of what everybody else is doing and how they're moving forward. And we're sort of stuck in this, little rut maybe. But it's not true. Other people are going through the same things you are. So that was very encouraging to me. And so I want to share with you a few of these little nuggets that stood out to me. Some of them I have heard before, but other things were just like really eye-opening. So we now have these lead guides through Empowered Success, and these are going to be phenomenal in helping us move our businesses forward and leading us from one rank to the next. And what so some things I have written down: everything you do duplicates. You hear about duplication all the time, right? We heard duplication over and over and over again. Every speaker that got up, duplication, duplication, duplication. Well, that's true, but the thing is, it doesn't matter what you're doing, it will duplicate. So if you're doing the right things, those will duplicate. If you're doing the wrong things, those will duplicate, right? So, so that begs the question, what am I doing in this business? So that was a kind of like, ugh, ouch, okay. All right, and then the number one rule of leadership, you must lead yourself first. I'm trying to figure out, how do I lead these people? I don't know anything about that. How do I lead these people? And then I think, oh, I have to lead myself. I have to do the things and be the person to be able to lead others. So that was good. Also, a true leader will continue to grow themselves. There is no end destination. So nobody's arrived. We heard that at leadership. Okay, nobody's arrived in this business. We're all continuing on this path of growth and development, both in our personal lives and in our professional lives. Okay, and some more practical applications. Somebody named Nick got up there and he told us Nick's super secret strategy on being successful in dōTERRA. He told me that this gives us 1,000% surety in our business. And here it is. Never stop hosting events. Never stop personally finding new members. Why? Sometimes we get so far in this business and we're in leadership, and maybe we get into manager mode where we're managing our leaders and we kind of fall back on our own personal enrollments. But his secret was, if you are the one doing the enrolling, you get to choose where you place them on your team, right? If you think about that in the big picture, that's powerful. So never stop enrolling, never stop hosting events. And also, I know we've heard this, it's the little things that you do over and over again that lead to success. Now, there was another woman up there speaking to us, and she talked about personal development, developing yourself, and how important that is. Anything we truly find value in, we will take the time to learn, or we will spend money on how to get better at it, right? So if it's important to us, we're going to find a way to do that. And so you have to ask yourself, am I worth it? When we're talking about personal development, that's something I struggle with. I will set that aside. But am I worth it? So that's an important question. And then finally, probably one of my favorites, and our team's favorite, because we listened to her recording on the way home, was a diamond leader, Angela Villa. Some of you may have heard of her. She's, you can find her on YouTube, some of her spiels, and I think she might have a podcast or something like that. I'd never heard of her before. But she was pretty fantastic. And she talked about creating momentum. And she talked about why most people quit. Okay? Because I've been there where I'm like teetering on the edge. I'm like, I don't know if I can do this anymore. Well, most people quit because we sit there and we scrutinize our business. Anyone? My hand goes up. Comparison. Oh. Refusing to learn from your failures. Oh, okay, there it is again. Okay. Self-doubt. Oh, okay. Okay, and then belief. You know, we all struggle with belief, and I think that's sort of the bottom line. is, where is our belief? And you said, I'm at silver. And if you look at that pyramid of belief, what you need to believe in as a silver leader, you have to have belief in yourself. So the struggle there. So this is what she said. She went into Diamond Club as a silver and she came out as a silver, right?
Like,
And she, some people are like, oh, I can testify. So, anyway, but that's okay. But, that really derailed her. And for quite some time, until she finally made this mental decision. She said to herself and to her leader that she was going to be her own leader in her business. She says, I'm going to be a leader and not a leaner. Let that sink in for a minute. It's like, that's deep. Okay, so your attitude should be, and this is where her shift came. She said, this is my business. These are my classes and these are my one-on-ones. She also said, when you work your business casually, you become a casualty. When you work your business casually, you become a casualty. And I was like, oh, that's really profound too. So, and she mentioned that motivation alone is not enough. Because we all get motivated sometimes, right? We attend these events and we attend these trainings and we get on these webinars and we read these books and we're like, yeah, I'm motivated. Well, she said motivation alone is not enough. For example, if you have an idiot and you motivate him, in the end, what you have is a motivated idiot. It's like, oh, stop. It really hurts. It really hurts. So she said skill plus action equals small wins. All right. So what she said is read all the books, do all the trainings, show up, listen to all the webinars. Small wins are going to build your confidence. And confidence is contagious. So skill up. What areas are you weak in? There's several questions you can ask yourself. Are you weak in contacting? Skill up. Are you weak in teaching a class? Skill up. Get the training that you need, plug into your leaders and get that training that you need and do it over and over again so that you can be successful in those areas. All right, so I feel like I'm already over my time and I have one more section.
You're doing great.
So I hope you found that encouraging. Those things were encouraging to me. I don't want to say I almost didn't go. I think on some level I knew I was going to go. But personally, in my business, since probably last spring, things have been a struggle for me, mostly due to things going on in my personal life. Last spring, in my business, things seemed to tumble downhill last spring. And so a series of negatives over time just really kind of threw me for a loop. And then we went through some family changes. We moved my mom out here from the West Coast. That was a huge undertaking. While I was at convention last year, we had a tragedy at home at my husband's work where he lost 3 of his crew members in a helicopter crash. And so that derailed me a little bit. That instilled some fear in me. I was fearful to leave my family again and go out of state for a week without them. So there's all these things that kind of come into play that you need to push through that and understand where those fears are coming from. And so I'm glad I went. It was a good experience, and I hope that you all will push through wherever you are when it comes time for you to be a part of that as well, because you will not regret it. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to talk to you a little bit about some practical things that you can learn when you're teaching your classes. We listened to a lady talk about how we were going to find residual income and retention, right? Residual income we know comes from our unilevel. And how do we get that retention? We have retention through repeat customers. And what's the best way to have repeat customers? This little gem right here, right? So this is your retention. So she talked about facing objections like before they even come up when you're talking to people about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. So what are some of the objections that you hear when you're talking to people about taking supplements? Anyone? Money. So many pills, right? All those pills. How about swallowing?
Already take supplements. I don't need supplements.
Already take supplements. Right. So why are these any better? I mean, I already got some, right? Okay. So she said the person who voices the objection first wins. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you, as the teacher in your class, you're going to address those objections first, and that way you win. That way they don't even have a chance to say them because you've already addressed them. So I thought I would go through a little bit about what she said, and I don't know that I have it all down, exactly, but we're going to try to address some of those objections with this. So you're in your class, and you've just talked with everybody about the oils. You've told them all these amazing things about the essential oils and how great they are. And then she says something like this. But listen, I want to tell you about the most amazing product that dōTERRA carries. And it's their #1 selling product. And that is the Lifelong Vitality Pack right here, these supplements. These are amazing. If I were stranded on a desert island and I could only have one product, this would be it. There's no question. It'd be the supplements. And so I'm going to show you a little bit about what each of them are. So she shows everyone, each of the bottles. The first thing that you're going to get in these supplements is your vitamins and minerals, the Microplex V and Z. Now these vitamins are so good for you. You're going to get 12 servings of fruits and vegetables each day that you take these. That's really fantastic, isn't it? These are whole food nutrients. Okay, so your body's going to know what to do with them and how to process them when you take them. And the next thing that she does is she shows them what they look like. So she pours a serving of these into her little cap, and she goes around and she shows everyone, see? This is what you take right here. Just these 4 little pills, no big deal. Whole food nutrients, 12 servings of fruits and vegetables, just 4 a day, that's all. And she mentioned that, she tells people that there's this friend of hers on her team who works for a power plant. And one day he was sent to the sewer treatment center to do a project. And when he was there, he noticed people walking around with these wheelbarrows, full of something she didn't know what. So he said, well, what's going on with the wheelbarrows? What have you all got in there? He's like, oh, well, these are supplements. He said, every 9 months, we have to empty out all of our containers because they are 2 feet deep in supplements and nothing can pass through. Oh, wow. He's like, wow, you've got to be kidding me. Really? It's like, there's got to be, what's the reason for this? So he went home and he researched it. And as a matter of fact, while he was still at the plant, the guy lifted up one of the pills. He's like, look. He's like, you can even see the manufacturer's stamp still on here. So not only have these people digested these supplements, but they've sat in this goo for 9 months and they're not going anywhere. Right? So he does a little research, and what he finds out is that most of our supplements, they are so hard compact that they've turned into like a rock. And our body doesn't know what to do with that. And I'm trying to remember the other thing she said. Oh, further research showed that a lot of these vitamins really are just that. They're like crushed up rocks and minerals. So, I mean, we don't eat rocks, right? So it makes sense that our vitamins are whole food nutrients, and your body's going to know what to do with those. Broccoli, cauliflower. So again, they're going to be able to pass through your system and they're going to be utilized. The next thing that you're going to get in the Lifelong Vitality is the Z Omega, and these are our awesome marine and plant omegas, right? So that's really great for your cardiovascular health and for your brain health. And the neat things about these, look, because she pours them out. See, this is what you're going to get. This is what they look like. These 4 little pills. See how small they are? Totally tiny. It's no big deal. It's like, that's all. That's all you have to take is just those. And the neat things about these is that, I'm trying to remember what she said.
Part one is.
Oh, yeah. So let me ask you this. What's the number one cause of mortality in women?
Heart disease.
Heart disease, right. she mentioned a lot of times she's teaching classes and women don't know this. Usually the first thing they say is something like breast cancer, but it's heart disease. So, let's start being proactive and taking our fish oils before we get heart disease, right? And then the last thing, these are your powerhouse supplements, the Alpha CRS. She says she gets a lot of phone calls about 4 to 5 weeks after people take these, and they're like, oh, I know what the CRS means. It stands for can't remember stuff, right? Because she said the brain fog lifts. So, well, no, I don't even know it. Cellular renewal system. Thank you. So these are your powerhouse. These are the ones that are going to make you feel absolutely amazing. They're good for your brain health, and they're good for your cellular health, and they're going to get in there and get rid of, they're going to scrub those cells so that you have a healthy cell proliferation, right? So all of these together work together. So you want to take them all together. You definitely need all three. And the great part about these is that you could take them for a month, and if you're not feeling any better, doTERRA will give you your money back. So there's no risk involved. These are designed to give you more energy and for you to have less pain. And if for some reason you're not feeling that, doTERRA will give you your money back, but I'm here to tell you it's probably not going to happen. Usually people end up calling and saying, oh, I would never want to be without these. Okay, so those are some of, do you see where she laid out some of the objections ahead of time? Mm-hmm. The other thing that she mentioned too is some people have problems swallowing pills. If somebody here has problems swallowing pills, and she shows them a demonstration of how to get past that. So there's tricks about how to swallow pills. She said if you just bend over, tuck your chin to your chest, have the pills in your mouth, then they go up and over and down the other side. You don't have to try to swallow them. And two, it's important to note that, if you can swallow food, then you can swallow pills. If you're not able to, then it's not a physical problem. It's more of a mental block. So she shows people tricks on how to do that too. So hopefully you can use some of that information as you're teaching the lifelong vitality back.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, I think we could probably just end right here.
Yes.
We got a lot of inspiration, some great nuggets, a little practical demonstration. And I think that you can all probably see how valuable going to these events is. I think Diane's confidence has increased 110% in the last week. Yes.
I was at 2 years ago when I signed up. She was the speaker.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you signed up.
Oh, wow. That's you're like, you still signed up? Okay.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Cool. Well, I can see a lot of growth, and that's really what Leadership Retreat is about, is personal development and growth. So there are some updates, and there's some fun news and facts and things that we will share, but it has a lot to do. Convention will be a lot more product focused, science focused. We have the doctors panel and the new products that come out, and that's very exciting. But when you get to silver and above, you get to go to Leadership Retreat. In the last couple of years, we've had 2, so Orlando and Long Beach, and you can choose from either one. Some people even try to go to both because they do have different speakers at each one. And so we're really excited that we have 2 different ones. We've had a huge increase in the number of people who've gone. The first year we went to Anaheim, and it was 11, 12 of us, something like that. Maybe not even that many. That first convention was 11. I think I have the picture. I think there was 8 or 9 of us actually. And then last year, we had around 35. This year, we had about 55, including spouses. I know there were 45 separate wellness advocacy accounts. I tried to count all the husbands that came too. So about 55 people. So it's really exciting to see it grow. Only about half the people made it in that picture that was up at the beginning, but I see a lot of personal development growth and leadership growth. That's really what the focus is, how to help you become the best version of yourself and how to help you also grow as a leader to help others do the same. So going to these events is really important. And I asked if Laura would share a little bit about her experience. So this was her first leadership as a diamond, but also she knows the value of going to convention, which we all need to be prioritizing. So please welcome Laura Garcia to chat about that.
Standing on the square. Yes, leadership was awesome. Who wants to go to leadership next year as a silver? Okay, if you want to go to leadership next year, then you need to be at convention in September. Because I will tell you that every time people go to convention, what it does is, like Diane was saying, it builds our belief in ourselves. It builds our trust in the company and the product, because there's a lot of education there. And every single year, I have advanced in rank. Every year I've gone to convention. I started off as a premier, and I've been going to 4 leaderships, and I advanced in rank every single year, and I walked as a diamond last year. So if that doesn't say something, you need to get to convention. Leadership was a fantastic experience. We had breakout sessions. So the Lifelong Vitality Pack that Diane went over, we unfortunately didn't get to hear that information. So it's really good that we all were able to collaborate our ideas and our thoughts together. So we get, what did you learn? What did you learn in your session? And it was really great to have those breakout sessions. So yes, as a diamond, it was really an amazing experience that we had gone through our guides, the build guides, the share, not the share, build, and live, not those, but our rank advancement guides that they're going to be kicking out really, really soon to help us advance in rank. And it's a step-by-step guide that teaches us all the different tasks and things that we need to do to advance in rank. So they will be out, I think, April 2nd. Mm-hmm. They'll be out April 2nd, available for download in your back office, as well as being able to order them in a hard copy as well. It was just great. A lot of the fun that we had on the trip, I'll just go ahead and say, it's supposed to be a 9.5-hour trip by car, but we did it in 11.5 hours. But it was fun because, you know, when you have 6 people traveling in a vehicle, everyone has different needs and desires. So we had to accommodate all of those. But I packed them with paydays, I packed them with snacks, and we had to have our Starbucks coffee places and had to hit a Chick-fil-A on the way. But we got there, and it was an amazing experience, and I'm very, very happy to see Diane. I'm just bursting like a mom, just bursting at the seams, knowing, and just so proud of Diane being able to share, and wasn't it perfect? Wasn't it just great information? And so I encourage you all to be at leadership, so then next year you all can be up here sharing as well. So I'll just there's so much information to cover. So mark that on your calendar, September 19th through the 22nd. That will also be opened. I don't think we're allowed to say when I'm going to be opening up ticket sales.
Oh yeah, they've said April 2nd.
Okay, we're allowed to say
yeah.
April 2nd. You want to know how you could get the money to go there? Like Diane said, have classes, hold classes, hold classes, hold classes, enroll. Fast start. That's your ticket to convention. All right. So without further ado, Crystal.
All right. Thank you, Laura. So you can see the importance of these events, and here's some of the details. Now, technically, we're not supposed to be sharing these online, so I'm not putting this all on Facebook yet. Some of it I did, actually. This is just the basic agenda. So some of the other things we're going to be talking about are a little bit sensitive. If people haven't been to the second leadership and they're going, they don't want any spoilers and things like that. So we'll be careful about how we share the recording until after leadership next week in California. But this does give you a basic idea of the agenda that you can expect. You can do a campus tour. That's an option that you will see when you get your ticket. If you pre-registered, you'll still want to be online April 2nd because you did not get to add any campus tours or gala tickets or other options when you reserved that ticket last fall. If you were at convention, half of the tickets are already pre-sold because everyone who was at convention had the option within a certain number of days to go ahead and reserve their ticket for the next convention. So we do expect them to sell out pretty quickly. But you want to add on a campus tour if you've never done that. It's amazing to see the corporate offices, see where the oils are bottled, and the labs and the offices of the executives, and where people who are fortunate enough to live down the street can go pick up their products, where the dōTERRA spa is, all of those kinds of things. And then there will be an optional empowered success training as well. They'll be going through all of the different tools that they've put out through Empowered Success. There'll be the gala, which I encourage everyone to go to. You get a nice dinner, a lot of oil-infused things. A lot of times there's a dessert or drinks or something that are oil-infused. They usually have a special blend, which is where the Aspire and One blends actually came from. They things that people receive for going to the gala and you couldn't get them any other way. So they usually have a special blend that you get for that. And then you get to see any new diamonds who advanced since our last convention. So far we know we have at least one, Alicia Latour, who will be walking. We have several others who have set their sights on being diamond in time to walk on the big stage at the fancy gala event. It's amazing. So I recommend being there to get inspired and also just to cheer on team members, whether they're in your upline or not, just to cheer those people on. And then we'll have the general sessions, and there'll be a optional street party, which you should go to. Lots of fun. They always bring in a big name to do the concert. And then the marketplace, they'll have swag. You know, as we come back with, I have a sweatshirt. So we almost match. It's like, I probably shouldn't wear a sweatshirt. But they'll have things that you can only buy there. And there'll be a Healing Hands project, so you could actually get in some volunteerism there. And then the Saturday will be more general sessions, product showcase. They'll reveal and open up the new products early on, and you can go actually touch and feel and try and smell all of the new products. And there'll be some neat stations about co-impact sourcing, Healing Hands, interactive demos and things going on. It's a really amazing experience. So don't miss out on that. If you can, be online, you'll want to order. And these are pictures of slides, so they're going to be blurry. They're not great images. This is the best we could do just a few days after the event. But the Empowered Success Global Summit will be an optional add-on for Wednesday, September 19th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this will be really great if you haven't already gotten training on these or you don't know how to use these tools. These tools, the way it was described, are the cake. dōTERRA is giving us the cake. We have a system now that we can use company-wide, teach to our downline instead of piecing together something like to teach a class from this TerraPad and something to show people how to rank advance from this company, and oh, you have to go to this website to order these tools so people can know how to launch their business, but you definitely want this one to do a membership overview because that's my favorite. All of that will not necessarily be obsolete. There'll still be some other companies doing tools, but these are the ones dōTERRA is giving us, and they're collaborating with the top wellness advocates in the company to figure out what should be in there. And they're really excellent tools. So if you haven't seen them yet, I do have the Live, Share, Build guides up here. You can look at those, the natural solutions for your classes. Now, I'm still doing a simple class that I learned from Alicia Sedeby, and I'm giving this out to people to take home because it will be a good review for them to remember the 3 ways to use oils. I like for people, at the beginning of my business, I had a PowerPoint and a TerraPad just to reduce the chances that they might look at me. So they had 2 things to look at. You have notes and you have a screen, so don't look at me. But I'm completely the opposite now because I want it to be personal and interactive. I want to make eye contact. I want them to know, I want to know your health needs. Let's talk about you. And we go through, and it's much more informal now than it was in the beginning when we had our notes that we read from and our PowerPoint and all of those things. And I give them this to take home so that they have something to reference. And I might point out some things near the end of the class when I start talking about kits and prices and the enrollment form. That's when I'll give it to them. But the part at the beginning, we have recordings on how to do that. This is still a great tool, though. It's a great reference to remind people the ways to use oils, why to use oils, where oils come from. And then you walk people through the Live, Share, Build guides to show them next step. So this will be your membership overview or lifestyle overview. I just did one of these before I came here. That's why I was late. And it works really, really well. Got her on 100 LRP. This then, if they're interested in sharing, so I sent her with this because she said she might know some people who'd be interested. So I sent her with the share guide. This will teach people how to start sharing, whether they just want to host or if they want to start making commission. And then if they're interested in the business, this is a great business overview. You don't have to know how to stand up and do a whole business opportunity with a PowerPoint. You can just walk people through this, and it goes through great information. And I love these tools. I think they did an excellent job with them. And we have new ones coming out too that Diane and Laura both mentioned. So these train by rank guides, I don't remember what they're officially called. The lead, influence, they have different names depending on what you need to be focusing most on. Yeah, you have the multiply. And I think lead to gold, multiply to diamond, influence to blue diamond, inspire to presidential. I don't remember what the first one is. Train to silver, right. So they're tools to advance in rank, and these are really, really good. I wasn't sure what to expect. Tanya told me she got a little preview at the Blue and Presidential Diamond Summit, and she said I was going to love it. Yeah, we'll see. But she was right. So this is the Blue Diamond one, and it walks through, again, the pipes, which we should all be familiar with by the time we get to this. but it has specific book recommendations for your rank. And then it has specific action steps that you need to do to be able to get to that rank. And it will really walk you through so that there aren't any gaps. And there might be just one thing that's holding you back from that next rank. It might be a mindset thing. It might be an action or activity that you're not doing. And it will go through mindset, actions, activities, contacts, continuing, like Diane said, to enroll, do membership overviews, the basics, what you need to do to balance those along with helping your team as your team grows, and how you need to spend more time helping to mentor your team, how to be a good mentor to your team, how to eliminate things you don't need to be doing. And that's one of the things with these tools. There are a lot of trainings and tools and things that we put out, resources, things that I made in the past. I don't have to do that anymore, and I can focus on the other activities because we have these beautiful new tools. And there will be throughout places where you'll see download. So it'll give you a little snapshot of something and say there's a worksheet you can download to get more in depth with that. So throughout the guide, you'll see cues to download something else. So this is not something you're going to work through in one evening. This is something that's going to help you really strategize and plan your way to your next rank. It could take weeks, it could take months to get through everything in here and get to your next rank. That part is really up to you, but some of it you can't skip. A lot of, like the Blue Diamond one, a lot of it is mindsets around money issues and things that could be blocks in that area. Those are not things you undo overnight if you've had scarcity mindset, for example, in that area. But it's a really great tool for helping you to achieve your next rank and know what it really takes. And it's also a great tool for us to help our team members who are wanting to get to the next rank, because they might not know what they're missing, and we might not honestly know what they're missing, but this will help us both as we're mentoring them and as they're trying to advance in rank. All right, so some other events very quickly. Puerto Vallarta is the next incentive trip that we have planned, and for the first time ever, we are going to have the entire resort exclusively doTERRA. There's not going to be anyone else there. We're finally, Emily Wright said, big enough that we could book out the entire place. This place looks amazing. It's surrounded by cliffs, beautiful ocean view, so private beach just for doTERRA, and every room has an ocean view with the way that they've built it. So it's going to be a really neat trip to earn, February 4th through 8th, 2019. And they have the full buyout of this beautiful facility. I don't think anyone here has been on one of these incentive trips, and I actually haven't either. It has not worked out for me timing-wise, and of course I've not won it. We do have some team members who've won it. We had a group of 4 people there last year who had won it, and these are the things that you would get as winners. You would get your lodging, transportation, dinner. There's also volunteerism opportunity in each of these trips where you can go do something to better the community around the area. And there's different levels of prizes. So this will all come out next month with all of the details on what you can get and how you can earn the prizes. But they did give us a couple of examples. The qualifications did start March 1st. So people that you're enrolling and getting on LRP this month are already giving you points. And at the end of this month, after the second leadership, they'll start releasing trackers and ways to know exactly where you're at. And then a maximum of 125 points will be earned from enrollments. Additional points must be earned through retention, and that's new. And they're really trying to focus on not just getting the most enrollments you can and then not following up with those people, which is a way that people did strategize to win the trip before. So now you really do have to focus on the retention and getting the membership overview, lifestyle overview, and helping them to get on loyalty rewards in order to get the most points that you could possibly earn. Grand prize and first place prizes will only be won by one person, but then the other levels can be earned by multiple people. And that they said, we want to give you this trip. We want to make it easier for you to get there. They're changing up some of the point requirements. They want that place filled up because they got it exclusively booked. And they gave some examples, or Emily Wright did. So if you were to be enrolling 21 people over that entire qualification period and getting them on 100 PB LRP, that would be enough to earn the trip free for yourself, basically. So, and you spread that out over the number of months. Was it 7 months? I mean, that's a few people a month is what it worked out to, getting them enrolled. And then you could break it down different ways. They gave different examples. And all of that will come out in some training when it's officially up on the doTERRA website. But I wanted to give you a heads up on it. really neat opportunity just to go have fun. I mean, imagine like playing volleyball with Dr. Hill, you know, doing things like that, just sitting around the pool, chatting with Emily Wright. Right? Doesn't that sound amazing? And then strategizing. I know the first trip that Alicia Latour won, she didn't even know who anyone was. She was just sitting around chatting with people. And they were some of the top wellness advocates in the company, the Goddards, the Shedebies, being all buddy-buddy. Dr. Hill, Emily Wright, first she knew who they were, but some of the others, they started strategizing, drawing out her team, helping her figure out how to move forward. And only later did she figure out, oh, they're like really way up there. We were just chatting like old friends. So really a lot of fun and a neat opportunity, not just to have fun, but also to get to know some people that will be lifelong friends and can help you move forward in your business too. Sideline connections are amazing that way. All right, so that was one thing. Another new announcement was the education pages are just getting better. And I have loved the Empowered Life series, but the education pages that doTERRA is going to be releasing, they're going to have videos on every single product page. So every page will have a video, how to use this product, what it is, where it comes from, quick little video, and you can send people there and they can see as they're shopping, even if they're just curious and they click on something, they'll see a video there. There will also be education pages that are specific to topics. So different wellness topics, maybe weight loss, maybe pregnancy, and then also by product and by body systems. So they're going to be coming out with more training around body systems, which I think will complement everything we've been trying to do really well. Yes?
Each product with their little information and video will also have a link to their website. So if they want to buy it, it goes straight to your website and offers to enroll.
Yes. Yes, exactly. So they are doing some deep linking as well, which I think there's a slide on. We're also going to have an accessory store. How long have we been asking for that, right? Right in our back office. Yay. So this is coming in April. I know, exciting, right? And they're going to start with, I know, that's like the most exciting news of the night. They'll start with glass bottles, rollers, spray bottles, the ultrafine mist sprayer. I think that looks really neat. And then some other just glass bottles, pipettes, pumps for the coconut oil, which, by the way, you can also put on the body wash. I have one like that in my shower. So this will be great. You can include this in your LRP, or you can show new members, hey, you're really going to want this to go with your oils instead of having to buy them from somewhere else and pay extra shipping and all of that. So this was a very exciting announcement for everyone. I know. And they're going to have, continuing on the education, monthly themes. So these are some of the themes that we can expect a lot of education to be around through the rest of the year. Daily health habits, I'll talk a little more about that. Then it'll be spring cleaning, mothers and babies, outdoors, summer fun, focus, mental clarity, motivation, and we'll go on through the rest of the year. And it'll be a topic of the month. We'll see it all over the website. We'll see it all over social media. They'll have videos. They'll have things that people can read, DIY projects around these themes. And we can direct people that way. And that's one of the reasons I'm not doing my monthly continuing education classes anymore. I'm doing more Facebook-based, but I'm also directing people to get into the empowered life and get into these things that doTERRA is offering that we didn't have a few years ago. And now they're just getting better and better. And we're getting more and more of that from the company, which again, we can coordinate our local DIY or make and take around these themes as well and get on board with just educating people very thoroughly on each of these different topics. Then the Empowered Life series, how many of you have been watching those at different times each month? Yeah, so they're coming out with these several months ago they came out with these, but these are upcoming topics. Again, it'll follow very similar, and some of them are shorter, some of them are longer. They're usually just a few minutes, maybe up to 20 minutes, I think is the longest one I've seen. And different leaders will do each one, so there might be one that you resonate with more than another. You want to watch all of them. They're all available. The recordings are there if you miss it live. So it's a live webinar that they'll have either a corporate leader or a wellness advocate leader talking about these topics, and it'll coordinate really well with what's going on the blog, on social media with doTERRA, Pinterest, all of that. So it'll be great to direct people toward. Now, I just threw this in to say that's the cake doTERRA is giving us. This is the frosting, some of the things we're doing. So we have our Builders Retreat coming up April 6th through the 8th up in the mountains near Boone. There's still room, and a lot of people don't think they have enough points to go, but then we sit down and start adding things up, and they do. So if you don't count yourself out of that, if you're able to go, if those dates are still open, if you're hoping to go, talk to me. there are ways we've added to earn points, including, being here tonight. Then we have our elite retreat. I do have the dates for that, same place, Camp Walter Johnson down in Denton. We have our live classes and trainings, online classes and trainings, Facebook classes, oil camp, or my YouTube channel, my website, and then our Facebook group. So these are the things that we can add our own personality into as we offer to our teams. Here's what doTERRA is doing, and I can focus on doing what I do through these other media. And then doTERRA's product training, the regional product training that we have coming up closest to us will be Washington, D.C., April 21st. And this is separate from the thing in Raleigh. So that will be, Emily Wright will be there. And they'll also have some other corporate members and an athlete, the people they're calling performance advocates who use doTERRA products and are professional athletes. They'll have some great speakers there, and it will be product focused. And then there will be a Diamond Day beforehand that's more business focused. Then the Wellness Summit we have coming closest to us is going to be in Raleigh, June 23rd. And that will be more business focused with local area leaders speaking and training on business. So look at the difference between the product training and the Wellness Summit. The product training is product focused, and it has usually a corporate owner coming to speak. Yes.
What was the date?
June 23rd. Mm-hmm. So again, a lot of this is not official. I could get in trouble if you tell people that I told you.
Yes. The doTERRA business training?
Mm-hmm. The one in Raleigh, yes, the Wellness Summit.
Is it going to be Friday night and Saturday like we did last year?
The Friday night, I don't think so. I think this time they decided to cut that out, and they added a Diamond Day onto the product training before, but the Wellness Summit, I think, is just going to be Saturday. They haven't released the specific agenda. They just told me June 23rd. They didn't say 22nd to 23rd, so I think I don't know. They said they found a venue, but it was really hard. They were planning to do it in May, and then a venue fell through, and they've had a hard time finding a venue. And she told me how much she had to pay for whatever venue she found. She's like, you just need to come back to Greensboro. We have a lot better options. She's like, I think we might do that. So I'm not sure where yet, but it should be coming out by the end of the month, all the specific details of that. But you can save the date for that. Some recent releases, we'll go through these quickly, but as Jenny was saying, they are starting to do things to make it easier for retail customers to shop for the products easily and be linked back to us very easily. And it will encourage retail customers to become a member and save instead of just letting them go through the process of checking out as a retail order and then make sure that they're connected to the person who referred them. If they didn't have the ID number when they started shopping, they will have the opportunity and they will be asked to put in the name, the location, the website, the ID number, anything else that they have information-wise to find you. And you will also now be able to, and we already can, see all of the order detail for our downline again. They've added that to the website so you can see your customers' orders, and that is so helpful when you're trying to track down things or see what people have ordered. I use it sometimes just to know what to give as a gift because I want to know, did they already get this? And as I'm gifting for different things with ranks or with customers who maybe have signed up for LRP and I don't know, did they get this oil or that oil? You can upload your profile photo, and then there is a link generator. This is where the deep linking comes in, and you can see examples at labs.doterra.com, where you'll be able to generate a link that you could send to someone that's not just doterra.com/product. It's linked back to you directly. And it will be, yes, go look at what Wild Orange can do, or go see what all is in the Natural Solutions. But if they continue past that and want to actually order it, it will link directly to you because you created that link that's specific to you, and you can share it on social media. And it's not just a doTERRA generic link that then you have to walk them through the process. It'll cut out steps for them to be able to see that link, and then it goes to the website, but it's directly to you and it's always linked to you. And they're just trying to minimize the chance that people will not get linked to the person that referred them. So they're adding in different steps.
They encouraged everyone to get their picture on their website.
Yes, they said to get your picture loaded in your back office if you haven't already, because that's just another way that they can verify this is the person that I wanted to sign up with, because what if there's two Mary Smiths or, whatever. So.
Is that a picture that's different than what's on your website?
No, it's
yeah, if you haven't done that yet,
Yeah.
then make sure you do that. And there's also not going to be, so these were all website releases, no more pop-ups after every time you add a product to your cart. We've been asking for that too. So just the little things make us happy, right? Find a wellness advocate. This will be some of the functionality by searching by last name, first name, state. If there's too many matches, they'll ask for the city. Also search by your business site URL. So you can customize that. If you didn't know that, you can go to your back office and customize. Mine is Clearly Essential Crystal. So it's mydotera.com/clearlyessentialcrystal. It'll automatically assign Crystal Garvin, but if there's two, which there happens to be, it was like Crystal Garvin 123 or something, and I could change that and customize it to what I wanted. Yes.
Is the mandatory go away? When you go for South Week and that, it wasn't the same mandatory anymore. So you know how go to the new website once they get everybody over.
Yeah, we asked about that, and they said that's still going to be active, so that even if it does eventually go over to just everyone's sites being linked at doTERRA.com, what you have already on your business cards will just be redirected. But that's not something that they're doing really soon. So as far as what we heard when we first asked, I think that was last fall, people were worried about that. All right, so we wanted deep links for social selling, and if you don't know what this is, then you probably weren't asking for it, but apparently a lot of people were. And this just allows you to create those links so that it carries your ID number within the link, and you can link to any page for educational purposes, and if that person decides to order, you get the credit. It's just going to reduce the number of people going on the orphan trees. You can put your links anywhere you want. Send it out in email, send it out as a text. There's even that option, if it's a really long link, you can click the box to shorten it, just like in Google Drive or whatever. It can give you a shorter link, but it will always be linked to you, and it'll just allow you to do more social selling because they recognize more people are not sitting down face to face with you and you inputting their stuff. They want to input it, but they want to just get a link via text, for example, and then be able to go through the rest of it themselves.
So if I want to send someone the link for Wild Orange that I generate, the next time I want to send somebody one, do I have to make a new one, or do I get to use the one I've already
You could use the one you've already done. I don't know if that'll be stored somewhere though. They didn't really go through that.
That's what I was asking, like, do we have to generate a special link for every product? So if let's say we have a blog and we wanted to put a product on there, would we just link?
Well, it would work. It would work forever. But yeah, you would have different
Each
links.
product.
And that's why they said like you will also be able to link to an entire kit, the Natural Solutions kit. Not and if you just wanted to do kits for enrollment purposes and not individual products. But then if someone's asking about an individual product, you could create a link. So that will be a little bit more work on our end, but you're going to have to go find the link for doTERRA's page anyway. It's just going to be clicking a button to generate your own specific link and then not having to worry about it not being directed back to you. If that person goes, oh, I'm just going to go ahead and buy it, and then you didn't even know because they ordered retail and it wasn't connected to you, or they signed up under someone else on accident, those type of things. So then there'll be more information and training on all of that too. Some new markets opening up. I don't know if anyone's excited about any of these in particular, but think about who you know or who maybe people that you know in these places and start asking for referrals. These are brand new markets where you can start building and start traveling too. If it's something you've always wanted to go to New Zealand, who do you know, or how can you find people that are interested in doTERRA there? And you can just share from a distance. You don't have to travel there, but you can make that a goal. So I've always wanted to go to New Zealand. I want to build a team there and get it going, and then someday I'll be able to travel there. I wanted to try to turn that off, but. All right, so they talked about their blueprint for building strong internationally now that we have a very strong base here in the US, and some of the things that have made doTERRA so strong. Of course, our Genesis story, how we got started, our mission, our purpose, the fact that we were CPTG, or co-impact sourcing, healing hands, our culture, which we are all guardians of. And they always challenge us that at leadership, to be a guardian of the culture. And I encourage people to do that much sooner than just getting to silver, because that's the way that we treat each other. It's the way that we have integrity in our businesses. It's the way we refer people back to the person that introduced them originally. If it wasn't us and we are seeing an opportunity and we would want someone else to do that for us, it's the way that we always just do things above board and don't cut down other companies or talk badly about them. And we've had that example from the top down with doTERRA. And we have great business operations, customer service, leadership development, and product education that all set us up really well to start building strong and make things move even faster internationally than they did here. Great storytelling is something that David Sterling focused on. It's a strategic imperative of business to get really good to engage people in your story. And so get good at your story, whether it's your 30-second elevator pitch or it's your introduction of your class. Get good at sharing your story in a way that people relate to, that's personal, not just sharing facts, because people remember stories much better than all of the facts that you could give them. And I'm one of those. I'm a learner, so I love to share facts. But I've learned that people will remember more how you made them feel and what your story did to help them remember the impact that the oils can have. So getting effective at storytelling is kind of at the heart of what he talked about, and the brand experience today, that people are identifying with specific brands out there that make them feel a certain way, or that they have a neat story that goes along with it. And we want to bring that into our businesses. Of course, dōTERRA's story is amazing. We have a very strong why. We have things that we do that make it different, how we differentiate what we do in our company, the dōTERRA difference. And of course, the products themselves are very unique and are something that no one else can duplicate. So our story is unique as a company, but your story is unique too. And you need to have a very strong sense of why and know what's propelling you and motivating you. You need to have a strong sense of how. So that's our system. Now that's been laid out for us much more clearly than it ever has been before. And then just knowing what. That's usually the first part that we all know. What makes our products different, unique? What makes us stand out in the marketplace? What CPTG means? What Healing Hands and Co-Impact are? Those types of things. We know those. I'm sorry, I'm going to pause for a second and turn this off because it's distracting me. I don't know if it's distracting anyone else. This intermission. And then it's in the recording and, anyway. All right. So that's a little bit about what David Sterling shared with us. Customers are changing. This was kind of fun to think about as our Gen Zs come along, teenagers now, under 18. They're expected to comprise 40% of our consumers within just a few years. They have an average attention span of 8.25 seconds. Goldfish have an average attention span of 9 seconds. They have a lesser attention span than goldfish. They average 10 hours a day per day of screen time, and they're demanding technology that's served up in a really personalized way. So these are the things dōTERRA is trying to get ahead of before they hit the marketplace, before they turn 18 and are ready to sign up. We want to have a lot of online engagement, a lot of social media. We want to have quick little bits of information, which I've noticed with the Empowered Life, with them being anywhere from just a few minutes to maybe a max of 15 or 20 minutes, whereas my webinars are always like an hour. These are things that I can learn from as well. Give little bits of information instead of trying to fit everything in, and you will lose people's attention span, even those of us who are much older than this generation group, right? We want things delivered to us quickly as well, and not drawn out longer than they have to be. We talked about BOGOs. Who loves BOGOs? Yay! Aren't they amazing? Every time they come around, there's a little bit of a feeling like, oh, here we go. And then it's so exciting to see. And Emily Wright talked about this. Our largest ever was February 23rd. Buy Deep Blue, get Deep Blue rub free. Did you all love that special? So you can see what our sales that have done with each BOGO. That have been February, July, November, and then this February, and how they're increasing every single time. And they always have one day that's far above the rest, and this time was Deep Blue. And she told us we sold $12 million on Deep Blue BOGO Day. 9.9 million of that was in Deep Blue. The rest was from other products. Is that not amazing? They talked about how we generate more new sales every month than we used to in a year in dōTERRA's earlier years. So it's quite impressive. February BOGO week. So this was February. This was just last month. See, month was going along, and then it kind of slowed down after the 15th, and then BOGO week hit. This is why we love BOGOs, right? It's been amazing to see what has done, and we had some new silvers who were at leadership retreat because they were able to hit in February due to BOGOs and make it work to get to Orlando that quick. So it can happen. We are still continuing to enroll very strongly as a company. So sometimes people look at retention and things and think, well, you know, some people are falling off and we're bringing on new people about the same rate. That's not true. Year over year, 13% increase in enrollments from 2016 to 2017. And then this was interesting to me. Emily Wright pulled out the average enrollments by rank, because I think a lot of times people do assume once you get to leadership ranks, maybe you slow down a bit in your enrolling and focus more on managing your team. And that's really not supposed to be the way it is. We have an even stronger story as we get into leadership ranks. And so you can see actually the people at diamond rank are the ones overall averaging the highest enrollments per person per month, which is about 4 a month. And that's still not a huge amount of people, right? But that takes into account the people like Alicia Latour who do like 25 or whatever. And then the people who do 1 or 2. So it's an average. Then these are not the greatest slides. You won't be able to see the numbers very well, but I just pulled out a couple of states. So this is the number of silvers across the US. There's 160 in North Carolina as of this publication date, and 245 in California. And you'll see why I'm pulling out those numbers specifically. Golds and platinums, there are 77 in North Carolina, 214 in California. That happens to be the state with the highest numbers right now. Diamonds, 18 in North Carolina, 72 in California. Blue diamonds, 5 in North Carolina, 17 in California. Presidential diamonds, big fat 0 so far in North Carolina, and 9 in California. But even still, people could look at these numbers and say, oh, there's so many in California, since it's saturated. And as we learned, actually, of all the households in California, doTERRA is in 1.68% of households in California, even with all of the high numbers that we have there. Texas, traditionally, Texas and Utah kind of trade places as far as second highest. It's only 1.05% saturation in Texas. And there's really no state. They said the highest one was 5% of every state. So they didn't say. They didn't go through every state on that. But I know we have 10 million people approximately, and about 68, maybe up to 70,000 now accounts in North Carolina out of 10 million people. So we still have a lot of room for growth here.
Did you say what Utah's
I know, and they're still cranking out new diamonds every month. So our quarterly revenue growth trend, this is Corey Lindley, our finance guy who always goes through the numbers. But it's just neat to see things are increasing. Things are on the upswing. And we're in a great time because we've come through some hard times. In 2016, I think there was a slide, I'll go forward, that shows we were doing great 2014, 2015, and then we kind of plateaued in 2016. And that was when compliance hit. And that was a little bit of a hard time. And we were all encouraging people, we're going to get through this. We're going to get back on the upswing. And that's exactly what happened. In 2017, we are soaring, right? And we're now in 2018, and they're just seeing the trend continue to go up. So it's very exciting to be in at this time when we've gotten past some of the hurdles and the website change. I know that's been a bit painful at times. We're able to do some really neat things because of that website change, like the deep linking for social media. We couldn't do that with our old system, and they've told us before, commissions run used to take several days, and it could be done in 5 minutes with the new system. And we just needed to do that so we can grow forward and be able to have a lot more unique features on our website than we could ever have with any other system. So it's been, I know, a bit painful. But they did say because of all of that, we were really poised well for growth all over the world. And these are some of the numbers. October to December, global growth was 47%. In the United States, it's still right up there, but some of the companies that have opened up recently are taking off in a big, big way. So it was exciting to see so many people from Canada. We had a lot of speakers from Canada. They're really trying to catch up. And it's great to see that. doTERRA operations, some of our accomplishments in our operations, we're filling more essential oil bottles in a day than they used to in 5 months just 1 year ago. February is a record month, and expansion is underway to make even more room for more accomplishments like that. They've had some challenges, added more volume in 2017 than the first 5 years of doTERRA's business altogether. So yeah, there have been some delays, some stock outs, they call them, things out of stock. Nothing was out of stock currently as of the day that they were presenting this. There have been some delayed shipments and loyalty reward program and can kit stock outs and things, and they're taking all that into consideration and just planning better. But the kind of growth that we're having has been unprecedented. So these are things that they're overcoming, and they are listening to our concerns. So keep voicing them, but don't complain on social media. Don't complain to your downline. If you need to complain up to your upline and contact the company directly. The more negativity that we put out there as far as frustrations with a delayed shipment or something, other people are seeing that too, and it only hurts our businesses. So we need to be careful about that. They are listening and they are working on those challenges. Promotion management. This time they were very excited to report 99.95% of BOGO orders were fulfilled and shipped within 1 day. Much better, much bigger improvement since the last one, right? The ones that were delayed were shipped 1 day later. So this is super quick turnaround with the highest sales ever. And that's some of the things that the new website and system are allowing them to be able to do much more efficiently. Similar results for limited time offer of Aspire and Once. They're getting things out much faster now that we've worked through some of those system and website kinks. We talked about APRC, and we got to chat with some of the people from APRC, the Aromatic Plant Research Center, which is our third-party tester now, which is exciting. They have a lot of other clients now, but dōTERRA is the only one that publishes the results of the testing. And it's our third-party tester now. It was neat to be able to have some representatives there talking to us. And this is what they offer to us, that they're trying to make sure that we have peer-reviewed journal research, testing on our products, of course, helping make sure that they're sustainable products, doing a lot of research and education, just to help ensure quality and purity, and giving us education, and that will increase over time as well as they're working to gather data and improving the quality of oils globally through the testing processes. They're very involved in those 4 areas: testing, sustainability, research, and education. This was just a neat little update from Healing Hands. I just pulled out one thing from that. This is Kenya. And Kenya is where we're starting to source a couple of different oils. As of recently, there was a team who went there, Blue and Presidential Diamonds, to do some service projects. And what was neat about it is the colors here. Blue represents the most affluent areas of Kenya. And as the scale goes to red, those are the areas that have the most extreme poverty, very dire extreme poverty in these areas. So dōTERRA is specifically targeting these areas in this red section and wanting to bring it into the blue by working with local farmers to help them. So they're targeting where we are sourcing and who we're working with, of course on where the oils grow best and we get the properties and chemical profile that we want, but also on where we as a company can help the most people get out of that kind of dire poverty. So that was really exciting to see that we're all a part of that. We are a part of helping really to change the world and turning that red area into a blue area, which is really exciting. Of course, we're also out to revolutionize healthcare. We talked quite a bit about that. And this is part of dōTERRA's mission, that they are now focusing more on fulfilling, bringing together healthcare professionals of both traditional and alternative medicine to encourage further study and application of essential oils in modern healthcare practices. And this is moving forward in some really big ways, and it's going to take time. But the medical clinic is coming along and will be opening next year, the first one in Utah, and they're planning to make that a model example for future clinics all over the country. It's a very exciting time. The healthcare initiative is allowing us to introduce essential oils to more people where they can truly partner with their healthcare professionals. And that's what people say they want when they're surveyed. They want more time, and they want more understanding. They want more integrative options when working with their healthcare professionals. This was really interesting just to look at this and recognize what's going on here. This is a real hospital, an actual hospital, that just shows us healthcare is ripe for disruption. Our system is so broken. The billing, the paperwork is so ridiculous that in Harvard University's hospital, there are 1,300 billing clerks for 900 hospital beds. And that's not even all the other staff that they have to have. That's not even the doctors and nurses. So patients and doctors want more time with each other, and they want to start to see these trends reversed, and people are taking it into their own hands more and more. And dōTERRA is coming in at a perfect time with a model of integrative health that really focuses on the patient and cuts out some of the unnecessary aspects and also some of the risks. Healthcare system is complex, and we enter into this challenge open-eyed about the degree of difficulty. Hard as it might be, reducing healthcare's burden on the economy while improving outcomes for employees and their families will be worth the effort. It's the founder of Amazon. They've been doing, heard about that probably, their own thing, going their own direction with healthcare for their employees. And it's not going to be perfect, but they're deciding to take it into their own hands. Medical costs, which are borne to a great extent by business, have gone from 5% to 17% of the economy since 1960. Our healthcare costs have gone up incredibly and will go up a lot more. The ballooning costs of healthcare act as a hungry tapeworm on the American economy. That's Warren Buffett. This is something that more people are wanting to team up to do, and dōTERRA is right in the center of that, having these conversations that are very important. These are just some of the things that the dōTERRA clinics will do: providing quality medical care, utilizing a patient-centric healthcare model to improve outcomes and lower costs, offer licensed physicians, and empower healthy choice and practices for prevention, for unrestricted patient access to primary care physicians and their medical teams through in-clinic visits, phone calls, emails, and texts for a fixed monthly charge. So it's like a wellness club. You can join and be in it for a fixed monthly amount, and then you have unrestricted access to what you need. Provide free or discounted labs, medications, and other medical and healthcare services, taking those huge ballooning costs out of it. Taking into account all factors that influence our health, wellness, and disease when examining the complex system of the human body and overall health, recommending scientifically established essential oil remedies, and adding to the science that validates efficacy of oils through statistically significant clinical-based research. Pretty awesome, right? This is the future. We're looking at it, and I can't wait for it to get over here. And I want to shift gears here, and Diane touched on this, so I won't go into as much depth, but this is important to recognize. So we have all these great tools. We have great systems. dōTERRA knows what it's doing. We have more research, more science than ever. We have more knowledge than ever. We have access to more education through the company and to really great tools that they're coming out with. But something to address and to consider is some possible limiting beliefs that could be holding you back. And these are just some ways to recognize if you might have some scarcity mindset or some money blocks or some other types of blocks that could be related to taking care of yourself. And this is one of the speakers talked a lot about. It was Tracy Lyman, Blue Diamond, about self-care and how she came to recognize sort of the hard way that she had to take care of herself. She had to make time to take care of herself, and that she wasn't being selfish for deciding to do that. And that she could learn to say no, and she could learn that she could balance work and being a good mother and not have to do everything on her own. So she talked about upgrading our beliefs, knowing that self-care is essential, knowing how to stay healthy through the different seasons of our lives, and just in creating that time for ourselves, like Diane said, that she sometimes puts that on the back burner, self-development, personal development. It seems like it's selfish or it's the last thing I have time for when it should be one of our first priorities. And so when you delegate, you empower others. Think about that. Who in your life, on your team, and your family can help you with some of the things that your business requires? How can you delegate and allow others to step into what they can do well and help them to utilize their strengths, and you can work together even better instead of trying to do it all yourself. And you can also love others deeper when you're taking care of yourself. And her mission really is to empower women to take care of themselves so they have the energy to do what they need to with their families, with their businesses, and take a lot of that stress off. So she talked about her self-care menu. Some of the things that she does, maybe some things you want to do and maybe not, but cleansing, restoring, daily supplements, getting regular movement, prioritizing sleep, having better boundaries, delegating things to others, taking time to slow down and unplug, be creative, have a nap, take a bath, things that we may not always allow ourselves time to do. Decluttering. I know a lot of us, that tends to clear up your mind and allow you time to focus on what you need to do better. Consider hiring a mentor or a coach. Spend time with friends. Make sure to do those kind of things. Dance, book a trip, go to a concert. All these different things that she had to start learning to do because her health was declining mentally, physically, emotionally, because she wasn't doing this while she focused so much on taking care of others and running her business and thinking she needed to do it all by herself.
I think it was this lady who spoke who mentioned some books that she would recommend, and I wrote one down. Just it has to do with belief, if you're struggling with belief. and I ordered it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's by Rachel Hollis, and this author, she has a big social media presence. If you look her up, Rachel Hollis is her name, Hollis. And the name of her book is Girl, Wash Your Face. Stop believing the lies about who you are so you can become who you were meant to be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Good.
Girl, wash your face.
Yeah.
Love that. Easy to remember.
There's a Kindle download for $9.99, so it's really
awesome. Thank you. Very good. So along those lines, dōTERRA is also going to be doing, starting April 2nd, a daily Healthy Habits Challenge. Really, this is exciting. And they're going to be doing different challenges like that throughout the year. But this first one will have daily challenges and quizzes, and you could win a free pack of LLB, or there's a grand prize also, which I'll show, and they'll announce the winners May 1st. So this will take place the whole month of April. It'll be on social media, so all their different social media platforms, and it's going to encourage every day taking care of yourself, getting rid of toxins, resting, managing stress, exercising, and eating right, following our healthy pyramid, and using these products: Lifelong Vitality, Terrazyme, PB Assist, Lavender, or Serenity, you can choose there, Balance, Lemon, or another citrus oil, Deep Blue Rub, or essential oil, frankincense, and On Guards. These are the products that Dr. Hill talked about at convention as his daily staples. So they're going to be encouraging us to use these. You're going to want to have these so that you can participate in the daily challenge in April. And then they'll have some winners. And what I would encourage you all to do as business builders and leaders, do this for your own team on a smaller scale. dōTERRA is going to have a tracker out there for us. And if your own little team within dōTERRA completes this, have your own little prizes. Have your own gifts or a grand prize or those types of things just for within your team. So the chances of them winning something are even higher. And you don't have to do anything extra. dōTERRA's already done the heavy lifting and the hard work for you. They'll announce the challenge today, I guess. I didn't see it. I don't know. I wasn't on social media that much today. And then they'll introduce it April 2nd through 5th, April 6th. They'll have a way for us to join. You can post images of the products, track your progress, participate in daily challenges, post an image of your tracker on April 30th, and that will give you a chance to be one of the final winners. And the daily tracker will look like this. This will be a free download that you can get, and it'll have where you can mark off using these products each of those days. And there'll be education around how to use them and why to use them. And the grand prize will be a convention package, including airfare, hotel, and ticket to convention. So why not participate, right? And there'll be other prizes. The whole On Guard line will be one of the packages, the garage line, so they're gonna have other package prizes as well. So that's exciting to be able to be a part of. I got it, I'm sorry.
I'm texting her.
No, it's okay. I already did it. She's gone. Sorry, Betty, love ya. Okay. Then the last part I wanted to cover, I thought this was probably the most impactful speaker for a lot of people that I've talked to. Diane already talked about her, Angela Villa. Is it Villa? I thought it was Villa. This is okay. It's the
I don't know my
Spanish pronunciation. Angela Villa. Why most people quit. She talked about scrutinizing your results and comparing with others, being number one. That you are comparing with others and you think you're not doing well enough compared to someone else. You overanalyze your results and think that there must be something wrong with you because you're not getting the results that you hoped for. You don't want to learn from your failures, instead placing blame somewhere else. You have a lot of self-doubt and you're not working on your belief. And these were really important to talk about, as Diane already mentioned. Are you a leader or are you a leaner? And I love that quote from her, because we want to go forward. And she talks about how we lose our mojo and we stop sharing the business, we stop sharing the oils, we stop doing classes, stop attending calls and other trainings, stop attending events, stop talking to our upline, and stop enrolling people. And these are the ways that we start to lose momentum, or what she called mojo. And mojo, in her terms, momentum, mojo, strength of force gained by motion for a series of events, plus your competence, which is the driving force behind your momentum. And these are the things that she said, if you see yourself stopping these activities, you need to take an honest assessment of if you're on the verge of quitting and why. And if your why that you started this business for is worth it, and how you can plug back into resources and coaching and mentoring and things that you need to do to get back on track to get your mojo. So she asked these questions about our skills, and I just wanted to share those, but also to let you know these are some questions we're going to be focusing on as leaders to make sure that you can answer these questions affirmatively. And we're going to actually break these down at our upcoming Builders Retreat in Valley Crucis. So the April 6th, 8th, we're going to talk about these. Do you know why we make a list? Do you know how to make a list? Can you talk to people without being awkward? Can you tell your story? Can you invite? Can you present the oils without forcing others to do their research? Can you present the kits without blushing? Do you know what's in each kit? Can you transition to close? And do you know how to ask for the sale? These are all really important skills for each of us to evaluate. Can you schedule your wellness consult? Can you talk about LRP in a language that others understand? Can you bring up the business? Can you start someone in the business? Do you know what you even need to do next? And do you know how to teach what you just did? These are all things that she talked about being crucial elements of what she teaches her team. And I loved these questions. I thought they were brilliant. And I want to start working on these because I want everyone on my team to be able to say, yes, I know how to do that, or I'm working on becoming better at that. These are the basic skills and things that we need to be able to do. And I like that she put it in these question forms instead of just a list of check the box and say you know what you're doing, but really asking yourself those questions. Don't wish it was easier, wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills. Don't wish for less challenge, wish for more wisdom. Jim Rohn, who is actually the same guy who said, if you motivate an idiot, you have a motivated idiot. Great network marketing writer. I've read a few of his books. If you don't find a way to love a flawed person, secretly you're teaching yourself that you're not lovable because of your flaws. We have a tendency to want the other person to be a finished product while we give ourselves the grace to evolve. And that's something that T.D. Jakes said that she quoted. And that's a good thing to consider as a leader. We want to do our good self-care, take care of ourselves, but we also want to give others grace and love others through their flaws. We all have our own flaws and they're going to be different. We all have our own strengths. They're going to be different from those around us, but we have to love people where they're at, whether or not they're doing what we want them to do in our business. We have a tendency to want to rush other people's process and give ourselves a lot of time. So she talked about just loving people from a true place of grace and letting them become who they're meant to be, the best version of themselves. And that means we're in it together for the long haul. It's not just a short-term process. When you look at your team, you want them to still be with you years down the road, and you want them to have grown through their challenges and the obstacles, just like you're growing through challenges and obstacles. And you get to be a part of making them better while you're making yourself better. So she talks a little bit more about scarcity versus abundance thinking. Scarcity says there will never be enough. Abundance says there will always be more. This is important to consider even as you look around, whatever your social group is, and you say, everyone's already using oils. I don't think I should try to build. There's 10 million people just in North Carolina. Most of them are not using oils. Maybe your little group is saturated. That's an opportunity for you to meet different people, because I can guarantee you there's people in this building who do not use oils, people down the street who are not using dōTERRA oils. And abundance says there's always more. There's more where that came from. There will always be more. Someone just turned 18 right now. There's another potential builder right there. Scarcity thinking competes to stay on top, hoards things from others, won't share knowledge, won't offer help to others, is suspicious of others, resents competition, is afraid of being replaced, believes times are tough all the time, believes the pie is shrinking, thinks small and avoids risk, and fears change. Abundance thinking collaborates to stay on top, is generous with others, shares their knowledge, freely offers help to others, trusts and builds rapport, welcomes competition, strives to grow, believes the best is yet to come, believes the pie is growing, thinks big, embraces risk, takes ownership of change. So these are things we're all working toward. None of us have arrived completely. We can all honestly evaluate this and say that's an area I need to work on in my thinking and not give into scarcity thinking, suspicion, fear, all of those things, hoarding, not sharing. We need to be open-handed instead of tight-fisted, because we can't receive when our fists are closed, and we can't give when our fists are closed. And yes, that means we open ourselves up to hurt, but we can experience the growth and the beautiful parts of this business and of life if we're closing ourselves off either. The task of leadership is not to put greatness into humanity, but to elicit it, for greatness is already there. And Emily Wright ended with this quote, "You've always had the power, my dear. You just had to learn it for yourself." She apparently is a Wizard of Oz fan. But I hope that you leave with a little bit more belief infused in you, a little bit more excitement about what dōTERRA has to offer. We really are starting a revolution together, and I'm so excited to be with all of you in this journey together. We are a really powerful force for change, and we were created for greatness. Each one of you was created for greatness. You need to see the beauty in yourself and take care of yourself and know that you can move into the greatness you're created for, because we are changing lives together. We're hope dealers. That's what we really offer. Whether we're offering the business, the oils, we're offering people to change their lives, and we're offering them hope, whether it's in little brown bottles or in the business opportunity that can change their finances. We're offering them health. We're also offering them wealth, and we need to know how to do that confidently. And one of the things that was pointed out, and I believe it was Justin Harrison said, if you're moving from being a manager into being a leader, your focus will become one of enabling others to grow and to shine, and to just kind of get out of their way as you do that. You'll find joy and satisfaction in this. You recognize and promote others who may be smarter or have skills that exceed your own. This is a beautiful thing, and it requires you first to be at peace with yourself. If you're going to encourage others to shine and to grow, you have to be confident and believe in yourself first before you can really believe in others and help them become the best of who they can be. And a big focus of our entire retreat, which we don't have time to go into, was StrengthsFinder. How many of you have done the StrengthsFinder assessment and you know your top 5 strengths, or you can at least pull them up on your phone? We talked a lot about this. It was even on our name badges. We had our top 5 strengths. I love that we as a team started implementing this a couple years ago, because we're already really well equipped to use what dōTERRA is going to be offering to us, which is going to include linking to our downline in our back office to see their strengths if they opt into that. It will also include trainings on each individual strength, how to use that in your business specifically. So Gallup is working with dōTERRA wellness advocates to say, let's look at the best parts of the strength, how to maximize the strength for your business. And we'll have training around that. We'll have videos around that specifically for our strengths. And to flesh that out a little more and share more of what we learned at the retreat about StrengthsFinder and how to apply it to our businesses, we're having a separate webinar. There's just too much to go into. I know our attention spans are a little longer than 9 seconds, but I don't want to push it. So we have a webinar next Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern that allows us to cross a lot of time zones and still reach people. And it will be my typical Zoom my typical Zoom ID number. And this will include some of our leaders sharing bits of what they learned, but also Nicole Weish, who is a StrengthsFinder certified coach, and she's on our team as well. And she has offered that she does have some. Every year they give her a limited number of assessments at $15 instead of the going rate of $20 or $19.99 that you can get it online. So you can contact her. I think it's her email's cut off there. It's NIC Nick J Jeff at gmail.com. I think that's her email. It's on the dōTERRA page as well. You can email her and get your assessment before the webinar. That would be great, so that you know your top 5 strengths, as we're talking about different strengths that are going to be helping you to connect, communicate, lead better for your teams. And then also, as you get to know your own strengths and learn how to walk in those more fully and embrace who you really are and how you can work best, then you'll learn your builders and leaders' strengths and know how to help them best. It's kind of like learning the love languages, but it gets into this is 34 of them instead of just 5 of the different strengths that you can learn how to utilize for your business. So join us on that webinar. You can come take a look at some of these tools. I don't have the different rank guides for all the ranks. I just have mine for Blue Diamond, but they do also have coming soon the planners for each rank. So you can actually map out in each rank what you need, what volume you need, what legs you need. This will be coming along with those planners. Really exciting. And now we're going to do a few little giveaways to end. Did everybody get a raffle ticket? Okay, I'll have Laura bring you a ticket.
Raise your hand, latecomers.
So yeah, if you online don't get to participate in this part, but I'm going to leave it on anyway so you can be jealous. I'll cut this off the recording. I'm going to tell you about some of the gifts that I picked out. They're just little things, but they're really fun. I'll tell you about them before we do this while she's handing out tickets to everyone. This was the bag that everyone got for coming to leadership. Now, Diamond's got a different bag, so I'm giving you this one because I probably won't use it. We end up getting a lot of bags in dōTERRA, but I love it. It's really nice. And Diane has hers. So I'm going to give someone else this one. I'm using my other one as my purse now. I love it. And then the notebook. I tend to take notes on my laptop more, and their notebooks are always really, really cool. They have some neat stickers and tools and dividers and things in here that are dōTERRA specific. Good, sturdy notebooks. I already have a handful of these from conventions and things. So I wanted to give you those. And we'll go ahead and start drawing. I'll draw for those, and then I'll tell you about some of the other things I have. Actually, I'm going to save that bag for last. So first, I'm going to give, this is a magnet I picked up from Aroma Tools. It has tips for cooking with oils. You can put it on your fridge, and it tells you the ratios of things to use if you're looking to replace a teaspoon of lemon juice, for example.
Zest.
Yeah. And then also this little tool, if you don't have one of these, you're really missing out. These are amazing. It helps you pop off your samples and rollers better. And you can reuse those sample bottles, those vials, and the rollers so you can get those lids off without ruining your fingernails or butter knife or whatever you were using before. All right? All right, so 667-2094. Yeah.
Wow, I hate to be late.
A couple of other little fun tools. These little guides to modern essentials. I like these little intro guides to give people with samples. Gives them a great overview of how to use oils and still gives them a lot of the common ailments and which oils to use. Great size to mail with samples if you're mailing things as well. So I picked up a pack of those. And then these bookmarks have the generic name and the dōTERRA name. So you can give these to people when you give them either Essential Life or Modern Essentials book. It's really helpful for them to decipher that code. So I always give people a bookmark. So I got a pack of those. 667-2065. Awesome. Okay. Then I have a copy of The 4-Year Career. Who's read this book?
It is the best book in the whole wide world.
You can tell Laura likes it.
Yes.
This is a really great book to teach you why and how network marketing and how it's a different mindset and why it's such a better plan for your career. If you already have it and you win it, think of someone to give it to because it really will change people's mindset.
Yes, who has not read that book? Raise your hand again.
Okay, maybe one of them will win it. 667-2092.
Oh my God, it was
Okay, so there's, we give away a little dōTERRA luggage tag and a Hope by the Drop sticker, these wood stickers that Drew and Lacey had designed. 667-2066. Right. A Clearly Essential notebook and a truffle. These were from the holiday line. What are these? Lemon cinnamon.
One of those.
I
had
right?
Yes, I
Just fun little things. 667-2085. Okay, this I have to show you. This is a gold cuff bracelet. This was made by victims who have come out of sex trafficking in India. And I'm starting to source more of my team gifts from this place called Anchor of Hope. It's a local High Point ministry, and they search the world and also here right in our communities, and they hire refugees and trafficking victims to make things, whether it's jewelry, household items. A lot of times they have a lot of these skills that they come over here with as refugees, and they don't know how to use them because we don't have the big open markets where they can sell them. So she finds these people, and there's a monthly subscription program, which if anyone's interested, you can take one of these cards that she gave me. It's Anchor of Hope box. It's $34 a month, or you can do a 3-month at a time subscription for $99 and get them for $33 a month. And you get beautiful items. I got these earrings this month. Yeah, and a couple of other beautiful wood salad spoons. There's usually some kind of jewelry item, some kind of household item. If it's not your style, it's a great gift. But they're just amazing. The people that are helping, it's really their only income in many, many cases that they're able to, they send out about 350 boxes, and my goal is to help them increase that number. So I'm going to give away one of the bracelets here and a little information about what Anchor of Hope does. Makes a great team gift, Mother's Day gift. You can do a one-time box and then unsubscribe as a gift for someone else too, so it doesn't lock you in. You don't have to call customer service like dōTERRA, so cancel it. 667-2096. Yay! All right, finally the notebook. 667-2083. Leadership notebook. And the cute leadership bag goes to 667-2087. Yay! Now I have some leftover tattoos with my logo and with the Hope logo on them. So if you want tattoos, take to your kids, whatever. They're fun. And I also have information up here about Anchor of Hope and a few of our different things that we got at leadership. Just an overview of what Healing Hands has done this year, some of our leadership information from the year. And this is for forget. This is for you. So this is from, she won this, just so you all know why I'm giving that to her, from one of my online classes, my Facebook classes. I'm running one a month on my Facebook page and one a month in my Facebook usage group. And that was the prize for this month. It was all about pollen. Lots of great recipes. If you didn't make it, go back in the past events of Clearly Essential Oil usage, because there were tons of recipes, itchy eye stick, diffuser recipes, things you can make, things you can diffuse and use to help you get through the high pollen season. And we'll have different focuses each time. So twice a month I'll have different Facebook run classes, and there's always a prize with it. So she was the winner this month. So, and it's really hot in this room, isn't it? It's like fans or something. Wish we could open the windows. So go outside and be cold. Brace yourself. It's going to feel extra cold outside now. And thank you all for being here. Did anyone bring their iTobi scanner? Okay, so we have 4 of us with iTobi scanners. Raise your hand again if you have your scanner. If you haven't had a scan lately and you want one, come see one of us. If you don't mind sticking around a few minutes, I've got mine. It's really fast. It doesn't take long. We can do scans. We like to try to do that when we get together with a group this size. But I hope that this was helpful for you. I loved having you all here. Thank you all for those who are on Zoom online. Appreciated having you here too. Good night, everybody.